掌声送给富邦 Angels。
现在介绍双方球队登录名单。首先介绍客队桃园璞园领航员，球衣背号3号陈立生，5号陈将双，6号关达佑，10号林明威，12号李家康，13号谭杰龙，25号林正，31号 Number 31阿吉诺，先发球员 Starter 背号1号 Number 1丁恩迪，21号 Number 21博朗，24号 Number 24葛拉汉，30号白耀成，69号卢俊祥，总教练 Head Coach Caminos， 助理教练兼球员发展总监杨怡峰，助理教练黄启峰、陈世杰、唐伟杰、柯焕维，体能教练刘连杰、刘后少，副领队兼球团发言人陈信安。这个赛季，我们将再次挑战卫冕军团，无论面对多大挑战，永不退缩，拼尽全力，不留遗憾，为团队、为冠军而战。今年也将再次打造热血沸腾的勇士主场。
As I fall on my face, yeah, they thinking that's all that it takes. Yeah, they going, he's out of the race. Yeah, they counting me out, but wait, speed in the eyes, straight to the middle. Let's go to the focus, the beat in the watch. All that I dodge, all the hits that I took to become what I am is insane. I am unbreakable. I am unstoppable. I am an animal. How can they stop me? I'm breakable. I am unbreakable. I am unstoppable. I am an animal. How can they stop me? I'm breakable. So much pressure that calling it hard is an understatement. The scars are the proof it was deep, it was hard.
台北富邦勇士的球迷们准备好了吗？让我听到你们的尖叫声！现在介绍第10队台北富邦勇士球员登录名单。首先欢迎勇士吉祥物比尔。球员组长背号0号后卫东北角一哥蓝洋小跑车赖廷安。背号3号后卫来自麻省理工 MIT 学霸 Number 3 Spencer Lee 林俊佑。背号6号后卫帅气与球技兼具国民姐夫吴永胜。背号8号前锋防守大锁逆流而上的鲑鱼 Number 8周桂宇。背号11号后卫3分冷箭锋芒内敛 KJ 洪凯杰。背号14号小前锋真奇妙老爹本土洋将队长蔡文成。背号23号前锋篮板怪物外籍生强纳森 ，Number 23 Jonathan 去湖北。背号33号来自加拿大 AKA 塞尔维亚中锋内外出击杨科维奇 ，Number 23 Stefan Yankovic。背号88号本土中锋酷帅高冷曾祥俊。Now introducing starting five。下面介绍新85人名单。背号1号超强外籍生体能炸裂的4号位大前锋 Big Mo 莫巴耶。背号4号后场发动机能 hold 住目光的全能后卫陈佑伟。背号10号披荆斩棘的刀锋战士古德温 ，Number 10阿奇 Goodwin。背号55号巩固禁区绝不让步，霍家师傅霍利菲 ，Number 55 Michael Holyfield。背号12号后卫勇士队精神领袖，永远的人气王野兽林志杰。 领队兼总教练许晋哲，教练吴永仁，助理教练林伟浩、陈立焕、杨兆轩，体能教练郑维轩，防护师05章彭玉明，球队翻译王义忠，训练员莱恩远，总经理叶宗颖。
那接下来邀请大家双手准备好接礼物喽！ 如果有接到的，也要邀请大家可以将我们今天发给各位的应援黑 T 来一起穿上。在今天，勇士也是身穿黑色杰哥隐退纪念赛的球衣，也要邀请大家在场边的我们一起穿上今天给各位的黑色应援服，让我们在场上场边都一起团结一条心，一起来为勇士们加油。邀请大家穿上之后，拿起手中的折扇，将它折好。我们准备来到勇士的主场，一起复习一下来到我们的主场要怎么样一起为勇士来应援加油。首先来到勇士的主场，帮我大声的喊出 Let's go 富邦 Let's go 勇士之外，一起拿起你手中的折扇，用力的拍5下 Let's go。
Let's go 富邦 ，Let's go 勇士 ，Let's go 富邦 ，Let's go 勇士。
谢谢大家。再来看一下我们今天身上所穿的应援 T， 写着 Taipei， 正是我们要继续为这座城市带来更多的荣耀。也要邀请大家在比赛当中听到 Go Go Taipei Taipei， 帮我快速的打6下，一起来
Go Go Taipei Taipei。 Go go Taipei Taipei 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 Go go Taipei Taipei。
再来，在比赛当中你会听到 TFB。 邀请大家一起喊出来，这也是我们球队英文名称的缩写，并且用力的带着震撼的声音再拍打5下 TFB，Let's go！ 谢谢各位伙伴们。再来，在比赛当中，你还会听到1个灯、2个灯、3个灯，噔噔噔噔，就会不自觉的喊出富邦勇士，跟上音乐一起来。谢谢大家。来到勇士的主场，还有一个口诀要邀请大家记住。
Welcome to Taipei. Good evening, fans, wherever you are, however you're streaming. We are well underway with the 2026 Plus League Finals. A rematch for the Plus League books between the Taoyuan Pauian Pilots and the Taipei Fubon Braves. The finals have brought us back to Heping Gymnasium this Friday evening of June 12th of 2026 as we take a look at some of the highlights at Heping Gymnasium from Game 3. A huge disappointment for the Taoyuan Pauian Pilots, but a huge win for the home team. As we get things started for our 7 o'clock tip-off here at Taipei Heping Gymnasium. Again, we return after a long hiatus as we had called Ling Zijie's retirement games out in the mini dome. As we see the brackets right here, the Taipei Fubon Braves, they fought through 4 games against the TSG Ghost Hawks to play against the Taoyuan Pauian Pilots in a series where each game has had a completely different story. Game 3 was no exception as the Braves held down the Pilots to a mere 76 points in front of the home crowd. Taylor Chen presenting to you tonight's play-by-play, and of course, the Plus League commentator, Ryan Chen, with me tonight.
Hey Taylor, good evening audience. Yes indeed, the Pilots falling to 1 win and 2 losses in 3 straight finals. So credit to them to make it 3 straight finals, but if they want to become back-to-back champions, it would be in their favor if they could claim the victory tonight, take one away from the Braves at home, which the Braves did drop the Game 2 against the Ghost Hawks, well, a little bit to our surprise. And the Pilots, big question, and something that was being talked about is their import selection.
感恩的心，
感谢有你。
是的，感恩的日子回来了。6月19号是端午节，你要怎么样？划龙舟，还要吃粽子。 哎，还要很重要的就是在6月19号，跟着我们勇士，跟着我们 Angels 们一起回到我们的主场和平篮球馆，一起属于我们勇士感恩球迷见面会的日子。请将时间留给我们，在端午节的这一天，留给我们最重要的是，让我们好好对你们道声感谢，谢谢大家这一季的陪伴。
伴我一生，让我有勇气做我自己。
最后，掌声欢迎柠檬。再次提醒大家，可以一起将我们今天。
So as I mentioned before, in each series where each game has been completely different, well, the defending champs, they have been consistently dominant in the paint. They continued to do so on Wednesday night, but they couldn't beat the Braves from the outside as they shot a dismal 14% 4-3 on Wednesday night without Alec Brown and Justin with their typical arsenal. Well, you can dominate in the paint, but if you only make three of those threes, well, that's going to be a tough game to win.
It was kind of odd considering that it was the only 2-day off between games, and it would end up being the slowest game of the playoffs, the pace underneath 80 possessions as we see Alec Brown and Justin, as you mentioned, only 7 3-pointers made between the two of them in Game 1, only 3 in Game 2, and both of them results in losses for the Pilots. It was curious because the Pilots only attempted 11 3-point shots from quarter 1 through quarter 3, but in quarter 4 jacked up 10 of them. So the Braves switching up the defensive strategy and flustering the Pilots, who've had success here in the regular season, but change of head coach, change of imports. As you mentioned, they last played against each other head-to-head at the Taipei Arena for Beast's retirement. And the Braves, as we mentioned, got a chance to face the Ghost Hawks here, though, to warm things up, as we get a word from our pregame interview from Alec Brown, asking about how the Pilots will go about their offense and the adjustments they'll be making after the Game 3 loss.
Yeah, I mean, I still think I got some good looks that I normally would make, but, you know, it doesn't, you know, it's not going to happen every night. You're not going to make every shot you take every night, and, you know, I realize that as a shooter. I thought I had a lot more one-on-one than I normally do, which I'm not necessarily a one-on-one player. I like to score off the ball, getting open that way. But hopefully we'll get back to that tonight and get a win. It was tough shooting night for everyone, and partly because Braves played good defense. They ran us up the line a lot. But honestly, we still got to find the open looks. They're there. We just got to make sure we keep looking for them, keep running our offense. I think offensively we got a little stagnant there for a while. So going back to basics tonight and get back to our offense that got us here in the first place. Like you said, we've been here before. Mentally, this does not affect us being down 1-2 in a series, 7-game series especially. I mean, a lot of games left. We just got to, like I've been saying, just get back to what we know we can do, how we know we can play basketball, and we'll turn the series around quick, hopefully.
So as Brown mentioned, he was chased out of the three-point line, and he went 0 for 4 despite playing 39 minutes in Game 3. Now the Taoyuan Pilots, they are 2-1 when they're behind in a 1-2 series. So that includes the Lioneers back in 2024, the finals game before against the Fubon Braves, in which they added Julian Boyd. Now before the game, the league also interviewed Roger Hsu.
战术战略最终还是要球员去做执行啊。然后球员做，我觉得球员在这个方面大家很愿意去跟教练团去做搭配，然后再来就是球员在上去之后都知道说要赢得，尤其主场的比赛，然后整个系列赛打冠军是靠防守，赢一场球或许靠进攻，可是整个系列赛你要拿到4胜的话，你没有防守是赢不了这个冠军的。其实我不会去回想这一段，因为我比较是希望给球员成功的经验啊。就是成功经验，就是说现在是2比1，怎么样扩大领先到3比1？我会 focus 在这上面去尽量鼓励球员能够在今天的比赛能够进入到3比1，让对方会有更大的压力。
Roger sharing that the most important part of the Braves in this series is the players executing, and those on the floor know the importance of defending home court and of defense, and that's something that Roger and his coaching staff have believed from the beginning. And not thinking about last year's playoff series where the Pilots were able to take Game 4 after returning from Ulaanbaatar, but thinking about how to go up 3-1 in this series.
Yeah, I think in a way he wanted to spin it in a positive way for the players to look ahead for a 3-1 advantage, to see it more as a positive aspect rather than applying pressure to yourself, saying, hey, you know, with the past history, we've seen comebacks from the Taoyuan Pilots. So instead, Roger Hsu is more concerned as looking forward rather than looking behind.
The 3 officials for tonight will be Mei Mingsen, Yu Long, and Zhang Weijun. The Pilots will be starting the same starting 5 as Game 3. Amdi, Alec Brown, Travion Graham, Ethan Bialton, and Justin Lu Junxiang. Meanwhile, for the Braves, it will be Michael Holyfield, Muhammad Mbaye, Archie Goodwin, Beast Lin Zijie, and Jerry Chen Youwei.
Now, not on the camera, but as we get things started here for the finals, Game 4 of the series, Braves starting things off in their black uniforms, Taoyuan Pilots in their orange jerseys. Shaking off Amdi Dan, the long-range 2 rattles outwards for Lin Zijie. He kind of fell on his wrist in Game 3. Now, Roger also briefly talked about it in the pregame interview that, you know, they watched him play at practice yesterday, and he still got his metal screws and pins in his wrist, but if there's no major complaints, well, Lin Zijie is still locked and loaded, as they call travel on Lu Junxiang.
The now 3-time MVP, Justin, having major struggles in this series. Only a 29, 30 from 2- and 3-point range. One thing that happened in Game 3 is just 30 seconds in, the Braves bringing Yankovic in and sending Holyfield to the bench, as we're going the other way.
Offensive foul, that's called on Lin Zijie.
Now both teams going with their same starters. It was the Pilots who came out with an advantage, 27-17, and the same game plan played out.
That's right.
It's a little bit of a opener, to borrow a baseball term.
Well, this time around, Roger was maybe 10, 15 seconds later than Game 3, but as you called it, Ryan, Yankovic subs in very early in the game as Trevion Graham gets things started for the Pilots.
Tough jumper made by Graham. It's a big key if Graham can do his work and he can stay in the game more as a big body.
This was way off to Mo's left side, going out of bounds. Yankovic, he only played 19 minutes in game 3, but he's really proved himself to be the Serbian sniper who went 4 for 4 coming off the bench. Scored 12 points for the Braves.
Also had 4 assists, was great on offense.
The fadeaway for Graham was too short. He was trying to get back-to-back buckets for Pilots. And from the corner, too short for Mbaye. The Taipei Pilots playbook really went out the window on Wednesday as played a lot more one-on-one against the Braves.
Yeah, even though you might think Alec Brown is a mismatch basically on anybody that's not a center out there, but he likes to catch it deep on the left side post, but the Braves were denying those entry passes. He was isolating from other parts of the floor.
5 seconds, intercepted. Quite a long distance for Archie Goodwin. No score yet for the Braves.
Braves are starting off cold again, but they were able to turn it around on game 3. This is a long game, ball game after all.
It looks like their Pilots are giving a lot of opportunities for Graham tonight.
Trevion Graham coming into this year's playoffs did average 16 points in the last 2 seasons of playoff play for the Pilots. Not bad splits, 47-39.
There you have it. That looked like it was too easy for Alec Brown to get things started.
What a way to start a catch and shoot. Might not be from his favorite spot, but Alec Brown, such a good shooter out there. If he sees one go in, I think the opponents will be kind of nervous.
Yeah, he'll certainly take what he can get. Again, 0 for 4 was what he was shooting on Wednesday. So early signs are positive signs for the Pilots to get his first in the first quarter. Archie with a left-hand finish. Finally get things rolling. 3 minutes into the first quarter. Once again, the drive and kick out back over to Lu Jinxiang. Graham against Goodwin with a recovery, but an ambush block, and off to the races Archie Goodwin goes. 3-2, and he draws a foul off of Lu Jinxiang.
Trevion Graham has been very shy taking those jumpers. He's been going to the basket every time, and the Braves know it. So good defensive effort by Goodwin, and then it was off to the races. Here you see it, initial deflection, and stayed with the play. Block right to yourself. That's really good statistics for Goodwin. Usually when you get a block shot, you're looking for a teammate to pick up those rebounds.
First one is good for Goodwin. Played the most minutes in game 3. Scored 25 points. Still waiting for Night King to rise up tonight. Quite frankly, not only tonight, but from Wednesday's game. A win for the Taipei Fubon Braves. Well, they had the opportunity to put enormous pressure on the defending champions at home tonight. And back over to the Braves. Here's Yowei. Here's Beast Mode on. The Huping crowd loves it.
That's something that the Pilots were able to take advantage of in game 2 with a lot of guards coming down, stealing away rebounds from the Braves and going on the fast break attack the other way.
Slightly slow start for the Braves, but they chip away at the score 7-5 as we got the teardrop for Lu Jinxiang.
Yeah, they're daring Pauian, the Pilots point guard, to take jump shots, not only from the 3-point range, even from 2-point range.
Tough basket to make for Goodwin, as Graham on the floor.
In a tussle match with Yankovic underneath the basket. And a good sign for the Braves, because Beast will probably only play about 6 minutes in the first quarter. A happy 44th birthday to the most senior member of the Plus League players group. As you see, that was the foul as Yankovic twisted around. Graham had a hand to his chest.
Off mark there. Trying to make the three on the opposite side. Driving downhill, and Andy Dien sends it to the bank.
The key on that play, Justin Ludrichang getting his first blow-by of the game. He did not have good driving and cutting abilities earlier in the series.
As up and under attempt by Goodwin, with Mo trying to pick up the leftovers.
Might have been an intentional pass and the belated call, but I think the right one, with Alec Brown catching Baye on the shot attempt. Another look at Goodwin. Once he blows by Pauian's head, gonna need some help defense, and we don't seal off the pass. It'll be a chance for Baye at the dunker spot.
Lee Jia-Kang checks into the game for Graham. Graham was the first to make a bucket tonight. Mo scored 16 points in game 2. Only for him to drop off once again on Wednesday. Only 5 points to show for. The score is tied at 9-all. No entry allowed. Braves are running a 2-3 zone right now. He's fighting through against Beast as Yankovic taps it back to Taoyuan. And Bidian tasked to guard Yankovic, swings it, resetting it over to Yue.
And face guarding him all the way.
What a finish for Mbaye. Showed discipline and patience against Alec Brown, and Junshan sidestepping away from Mo with nothing to show for Yue. Once again, off to the races for the Braves, off of the body contact against Jia-Kang.
That's tough to take here for the Pilots, but the lack of shot making is giving the Braves opportunities to counterattack. So you can't have one without the other, especially if you're the Braves coaching staff, as Roger keeps mentioning, and officials having a conversation. Don't think they're going to change the block charge call. I mean, it is one of those kind of snap judgments. For the officials to call it than to let it go. Might have a possible flop warning.
A minute at the score table right now. So what we're told is that the referees are going to look at the IRS to review Ling Zijie's 3 that he made early on.
Well, we are in the official timeout territory. Looks like that white line might be stepped on, as the ever-famous Beast shuffle happening in transition. One thing that might have been very much against the Pilots in Game 3, the Braves in their Plus League history have never faced a series deficit greater than 0-1, and happen to be always in the finals.
3分球，来有没有其他角度？
Foot it looks like it's right on the edge, but I think I still see a sliver. Not at this particular shot.
They did call it a 3 on the floor, and based on that very close-up from camera number 2, I'd imagine they would maintain the same
好，没关系，还有没有
3-point
别的
call.？
没了，就这个。好。OK， 对我而言，3分线是完整的，所以这个球是一个3分球，维持原判。
So the call will remain a 3-point shot, as it looked like to be a complete white line as we get into timeout with the score 11-9. Taipei Fubon Braves hoping for a perfect record at home in the finals. We'll be right back with more Plus League Finals.
来看看第1位，来在享用晚餐的这位朋友，帮我看一下大荧幕。你愿意跟我们家的比尔当个朋友吗？给我一个圈圈，给他一个叉叉。圈圈还是叉叉呢？我有点紧张哦。哦，差点以为你要用筷子比叉叉。谢谢你。来下一位，来2位都是杰哥的铁粉，就一起当杰哥的伙伴。有点害羞没关系，我们一起支持杰哥。可以可以，谢谢谢谢。下一位朋友，来，给彼此一个圈圈，可以吗？好，一个赞，尴尬又不失礼貌的一个赞，谢谢你们。
You're watching the Plus League Finals presented by Ryan Chen and Taylor Chen for Game 4 tonight here at Heping Gymnasium. A win for the Braves tonight and will lead to only one good win for a storybook ending for Ling Zijie out in Taoyuan Arena. So the Pilots may be facing quite a defining game tonight on the road.
Well, we have seen a 3-1 series be reversed, not only in the NBA, but in other basketball leagues, and pretty recently at that. And the reason why we kind of imagine that this will be a long series is because the Pilots were the most dominant team 2 years in a row in the regular season, but the Braves last season under coach Aaron Williamson and this year back under Roger pose a big problem for them in the early goings. Look at that, 5 fouls to 0. The Braves making all 5 of their free throws.
And you talk about the switching of head coaches. Aaron had the record of 6 wins and 15 losses before Roger came in on March 20th, coming out of the timeout. Both free throws are good. And Linton will check in.
Yeah, and a 1 import set with only Willie Martino.
Trying to charge through. And Linton will get a chance at the line. They call it on Mo.
Linton or Ken has shown off a better 3-point shot over this season in Plus League play, and especially in BCL Asia East. So maybe the Braves overreacted to that shot fake, giving him a little bit of daylight to penetrate, but that's not Linton's strong suit. And he still got the foul, the first before the Braves on the quarter. That might settle things down for the Pilots. Again, they're in the 1 import set with Will Artino and Linton as his battery mate.
Linton has only played 1 game in the finals. And listed as being on the court for 6 seconds. For 2 there.
The 1-5-2 stagger screen that the Thailand Wuxiban was drawing up, though an early foul by Holyfield and it's returned back to the floor.
So you see a legal screen there run by Holyfield. punched in double stats on Wednesday. As Chen Jiangshuang also checks in for Lu Junxiang. Killer also making his arrival.
I want to see more of Owen. He only played about 2.5 minutes in the second half of Game 3. The Pilots needed some offense.
Travel. Yergi Camino's trying to respond to Roger by playing all of his bench players on the court right now. As, just like that, Braves will also sub in KJ coming into the game for Chen Youwei. Big Mo trying to get a big bucket there, no answer, and Holyfield falls to the ground, hoping for a foul call by a ref, and Will Artino comes in short. Oh, not short. Takes it off the bank.
Well, the same story plays out for the Pilots. They get a stop, some bodies hit the floor, and William Martino, the tip of the spear all the way down court. Played with very good effort in his stint with the Pilots.
From the corner, Archie Goodwin. No dice for the three, and once again, Holyfield getting knocked around early. And they call it a pushing foul on Ling Zhen.
There might have been a tangle up there, as Holyfield might have been in better position for that rebound. Was frustrated before, and finally the ball bounces his way. And the big adjustment here is the Pilots want to rotate a lot more bigs, maybe add a little bit more fight and then more freshness to their rotation of bigs down the stretch. Because as you mentioned, Ling Zhen has played so sparingly this finals. Previously it was Andy and Artino alternating for each other in games 2 and 3.
1 for 2 for Holyfield. Back over to Jia Kang from the wing. Dials in, gets the answer for the Pilots.
Jia Kang famously went 0 for 9 in game 1, a close overtime loss for the Pilots, but he's got a resume of a pretty good shooter, at least built up in the regular season. It's the finals where the Pilots' three-point shooting has really taken a dip.
The kick out over to Jack. Nothing to show for. Will they get another chance? Goodwin lobs it upwards to Jack. Clock, 5 seconds on the shot clock, and still no bucket.
The Braves crashing the offensive boards with 4, if not 5 players there.
Over the screen. Hong Kai-jie gets his first foul.
Look, previously, Zhou Guiyu, who played great defense after scoring a dozen points in game 3, kind of shooting the wrong gap there as KJ with some embellishment despite the one committing the foul.
Well, the Braves, they've got one more foul to spare before free throws are automatic for the Pilots. Artino, a rare three from up top, makes it.
He attempted one in game 3, and the Braves were happy to let him take it. If Artino can make a couple of those, that'll very much change the geometry on the floor.
They'll take what they can get. Again, they only hit 3 of their 21 on Wednesday night. And again, another offensive foul is called on the Braves end.
I think we might have some extracurriculars with that toss of the basketball. Well, Archie Goodwin probably not happy with that shove. And maybe that reach, but that right arm is extending outwards. I don't know if it's super egregious, but when you knock over the defender and create an advantage, the referees have to be making that judgment call. They can't let you just knock anybody you want over.
Yeah, you do see his elbow getting in the slight, lifting up the slightest bit.
Credit to Guan Dayo. He was, as soon as he was dislodged, he went up again to go take up Archie Goodwin's space. And this is the perfect time for a give and go. That'll very much change the tenor of the game going forward.
Just like that, the Pilots take the lead, 19-14. They get free throws and the possession. And for the Pilots, they're still keeping just Artino, the only foreign player for the Pilots now. Off the screen, pulling up jumper. Nothing to show.
Braves haven't had a field goal since Mbaye at a 6:27, and it will continue to be a wait.
A turnover, but no score for Lee Jiakang. A valiant effort, though.
I think Lee Jiakang doing the smart thing. Nobody challenged him, and maybe Lai Tian got away with one there. Ball goes up, but hands stay down.
16 seconds. John Swan swinging it over to Jiakang. Up at the baseline. No entry allowed. Lai Ting-en, and 3 seconds in. Chen Jiangshuang got the stroke. And they are now 4 for 5 in the first quarter. Braves, on the other hand, they got some work to do. They are 1 for 9, make that 2 for 10. Thanks to Yankovic, sniper. He is. And here's Chen from up top.
You know, Yankovic prior to game 2 did not make 4 threes in a game at all this season with the Braves. What a time to come alive from the outside.
He certainly has in the playoffs. He's been shooting 69% of his threes. And he knocks down Ling Zhen.
Now, Ling Zhen was faked up in the air, so unfortunately for Ken, he'll have to wear it. It's not impossible that upon replay, the ref might find Yankovic jumped into the defender. Pilots are looking at it now. This is the kind of foul or no foul that Yergi Caminos loves to challenge. Take another look. See Ling Zhen faked up in the air, so he's kind of giving up his cylinder, but that might be just, well, that would be really tough to call. Because Yankovic, if the referee's deem is exiting his own cylinder to take that shot, consider adjudicating something there. It's half-assed if you ask me, though.
Because otherwise, if that's an offensive foul call, that might be, that's the Braves' 3rd or 4th offensive foul tonight.
Well, this second unit has done wonders for the Pilots, as their starters looked absolutely stymied on the offensive end. And at least for now, Ling Zhen will head to the bench. And a pretty good start for him.
Yeah, he might have cut his lip as he has to be removed from the court. So Alec Brown returns while Yankovic awaits for 3 free throw attempts. Yankovic, a 75% free throw shooter. As we see a handful of the Zhendai University students
And confirmed for the Plus League draft, which, as we saw, the registration began today. And no surprise that Tenzin University players are enthusiastic about possibly joining a Plus League team.
Now we have two of the foreign students, Ndai as well as Bobakar, who are both eligible for the drafts. And it handed the cookie jar. Lai Tingyun comes through end-to-end for the lay-in. Poetry in motion.
Lai Tingyun has not had as many opportunities in these finals, but what a way to get a coast-to-coast layup, but a counter right away by Jackie.
The Braves are completely unresponsive there. Easy bucket for the Pilots. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Taoyuan. See if he has it. Too short. Hot potato there. Pilots will get it. Final possession in the first quarter. And Chen letting the clock run off the screen. A skip pass over to Killer. Serial killer at that to wrap things up for the first quarter of Game 4. Pilots take the lead 27-20. And what a finish for the Pilots' end as we head into break. So we'll be right back.
Come on! 哪边热情，礼物就送向哪里。
We're live here at Heping Gymnasium for Game 4 of the Plus League Finals.
Chairman of the Fubon Group, Mr. Tai, in the building, along with Tai Ming-Xing, the chairman. The two of them had their own roles in the recent retirement, although they kind of got crossed up a little bit there in a funny situation where Lin Zijie was announced as the following deputy team lead. Will be the second to Roger, who's got a lot of hats to wear. Team lead, general manager, and the head coach in this season.
Now, Taiwanese pro ball certainly has got a lot of different kinds of titles. They all sound pretty similar to me. Start things off. No three yet for Luo Junxiang tonight. Downhill pass. A quick reset over to Taoyuan. High up. Alec Brown will pick up the rebound.
There's a lot of shoving on these rebounds. Everyone's got to be careful.
Yeah, we saw Holyfield floor a couple of times in the first. Skip pass over to Dien, the left wide open, comes through with a monster jam.
Great job by the Pilots, spacing it out wide. Alec Brown drawing two, and feeding Amdi with patient up fake and dunk.
The Pilots scored 50 points in the paint. Braves only 30, but again, if they're not making those outside shots, well, you have the score of 85-76. It's the lowest score that the Pilots have made in these last 2 years of playoffs or finals, really. So we're already coming in quick for a timeout. Score 29-20.
考验各位的是默契。比尔，你要找谁？哪里？我来邀请看看雅英跟朱恩的臂力怎么样，好吗？来。两位哦，2位一组哦，我们内用哦，没有外带，2位是不是？好，你们2位。接到小球的朋友要记得在第2节打完，来到2边篮筐后方集合。最重要的是那个球不是礼物，要在带位里的。
Quick timeout or early timeout called by Roger Shu. We have lots of VIP guests here tonight.
Well, that's not a VIP. That's Joyce Chen, one of the heads of the Fubon Entertainment Group across baseball, basketball.
I'd still consider that very important people.
Oh, she is very important indeed. Now, interesting, the Braves starting off with a 2 big import lineup, and then you saw they had that serious defensive miscue, 2 going at Alec Brown.
Bobbing and weaving through, but loses it to Ambi Dien. CJ returns back to gameplay. And that foul will send Lu Junxiang to the free throw line. That's Lai Ting'en's second foul tonight.
It's rare that in 2026 Lai Ting'en gets post up, but the Braves kind of a little bit late to get back on defense. Didn't get the right defensive assignment, and 1 turnover, and the Braves quickly making personnel changes.
Yeah, I mean, we're already seeing that early on in this game. Roger showing to be quite reactive to the Pilots right now. They kind of have to, as the Pilots are leading 30-20. (31-20). After this game, we are sent back to Taoyuan Arena for a Sunday afternoon tip-off. And from Sunday out, it'll be alternating home courts. Off of the screen, Beast gonna get his second 3 tonight.
Recall the Pilots were up by 10 in the first quarter of Game 3, and the Braves then locked it down.
Seconds. No call made. Ball is still live up until the ball rolled out of bounds, with Alec Brown making the last touch.
Great effort by Brown there when the Pilots were so preoccupied thinking that Justin was fouled on that up fake, and maybe he was, but that's not as strong an argument for me as, yeah, okay. On a second look, yes, indeed, there was some contact that the refs let go.
actually had quite a bit of time to make that call, but they continue onward. Trevion Graham coming through, clears it.
Pilots have been doing a good enough job defending these rebounds. The Braves will get more and more desperate to go for offensive rebounds the further down they get in the ball game.
Alec Brown's bread and butter. And he blanks the three. Braves down 9 points. And Goodwin also chucking it. Not much set up there for the Braves.
Not at all. Meanwhile, the Pilots, you see, even when Justin has a mismatch, they get a ball screen.
Again, fighting tough in the paint. Now has 4 points tonight.
Might be a small thing, but that's a little bit of growth in Andy, who used to shy away when he caught the ball in the middle, even so close to the basket. As long as there was a defender, he was looking for alternatives.
Right now, Braves still have yet to score in the second. 6 points for the Pilots as we finally get called a jump ball.
Again, the Pilots playing with some desperation. Alec Brown going to the deck again, this time joined by Pauian. As you see, Beast, kind of a side spinner right at Mo's shin. Not easy to handle. Credit to Mo for getting down on the floor. His long arms keeping that ball away from the Pilots. The Braves, by my look at this year's stat sheet, had a 14-point deficit, which they turned around. But that was to the newly formed Yankee arc, and that was on Beast's send-off on April 12th. We've got a lot of work to do.
Archie Goodwin charges downhill and shakes in the two-piece. Braves needed it. It's gone almost 4 minutes without scoring.
Maybe that's some momentum for the Braves. Archie Goodwin, a perfect give and go on the inbounds as Ethan was top blocking, nobody helping until Justin, and still a better finish by Goodwin.
They get possession once again. There's downhill finger roll finish attempt by Yankovic.
Seems to be more concerned with the officials trying to score the basket.
It looked like he was watching them the whole entire time. By the big switch back over to Alec Brown. He's 0 for 2 from 3 in the second quarter. Junxiang handoff over to Brown. Too strong, and Artino will take the 2.
I think the Braves are playing defense with some urgency, but they're not finishing off possessions by grabbing the rebound. There you see the Pilots with multiple second chances.
4 offensive rebounds for Pilots, only 2 for the Braves. 6 seconds for Beast. There's a handoff over to Big Mo.
And it feels like, at least in the first half, it is not the Braves half. A lot of close misses, even when they get an okay look.
Not seeming to be able to get the friendly bounce. Junxiang dials in, and he has the answer. 38-22. And the Pilots continue to pull ahead thanks to their much improved shooting from the outside. They are 6 for 11 as the whistle comes.
I mean, acknowledged sneaking on the floor is Lin Zihui or Wayne guarding Beast, and there might be some gamesmanship there by the offense, but Zihui could defend better with his hips than show his hands. Very different second quarter. Pilots 2 fouls to the Braves 1.
I believe during the offseason he changed his names from Ling Zihui to Ling Mingwei.
Oh, you're right. Thanks for that correction. As Goodwin dribbles it out of bounds. A good double team by the Pilots there.
Now, Game 3's win, the Braves really just stayed true to their fundamentals, and they only committed 13 turnovers. Well, unfortunately now, that was their 8th turnover tonight. Xiang once again for 3. Bags it like groceries, forcing the Braves to call for a timeout.
Pilots finally playing with some looseness, some freedom after giving in that effort, holding the Braves to only 22 points through nearly 18 minutes of play. That's good work. The Braves have been a team with them trying to control their assist-to-turnover ratio. And the playoffs, that number has gone down to 1.24 after a 1.62 regular season run. Those are pretty good numbers as a squad. Well, in games 1 and 2, under 1. Especially, I recall game 1, there was turnovers abound. No team really established a lot of rhythm.
Contact rebound and keep your hands up. Okay? Hey, let's go. Wake up.
Well, in quarter 1, they had 2 assists to 6 turnovers. In quarter 2, well, you only can be eligible for 1 when they make 1 field goal or any free throws. No attempts, by the way.
That took them nearly 4 minutes to get those 2 points.
And for the Braves, the not good sign, too, is they expended a few extra minutes with Beast to start the second quarter.
And during the playoffs, Beast is starting all games, but logging in 22 minutes. So they have to be very cautious about his time on the court. Pauian still cold from the outside.
Well, this is a Roger staple. As soon as he sees something, somebody might be coming in, and that's Zhang, who was in to match up against Chen in the first quarter.
Artino blocked off by Yankovic. Sends it back, but Pilots still get another chance. Credit to their tenacity, but here we have Braves coming through. Catch and shoot for Mo. It hits the iron ring once again. Still the only player in tonight's game to not score until just now.
And he was a mind reader there, Taylor.
Yeah, seriously. Went back in time. From the field now, the Pilots are hitting 51% of their shots.
Man, things are getting tight for the Braves. That's a good look for KJ. Not typically shooting from the top of the arc.
For the Braves, well, they shoot. They can't seem to even buy a shot. They are 1 for 10 in the second. And it's not helping that the Pilots are corralling these second chance opportunities, as you mentioned earlier, Ryan. Off mark for Leighton. And once again, Braves are not being aggressive enough. Picking up those rebounds. Goodwin with a jumper, hitting nothing but net.
Finally an answer by the Braves. Of course, none other than Archie Goodwin. He's actually climbed all the way to number 4 in the Plus League all-time scores in the finals.
Just in the playoffs, he is, of course, leading in points per game, 30 points to be exact, as Xiaobai getting the back-to-back field goals for the Pilots after going scoreless in the first. Yankovic slips up.
Hopefully he's all right, but that's the worst thing the Braves want to see, going down because of the floor and injuring himself. So you see Ethan spinning out Taoyuan and help from Artino's screen. And well, that's why they call him Sunchi Xiaobai. I didn't expect him to go that high up, but Mbaye, one of the All-Plus League first-team defenders, maybe that's what you got to do. One thing that wasn't talked about widely was the fact that the Pilots held the Braves to only 35 points in the second half of Game 3. So it's not like the Braves were blowing out their opponents.
No, not at all. I mean, we looked at the fourth quarter while the Pilots only scored 8 points. Well, the Braves weren't too far ahead, 14 points to conclude the game 3 of the finals. So a kickball violation from Artino will still have Braves trying to convert this possession. Here's Jack. So nice. You got to say it twice for Jack.
Yeah, Holyfield, despite not being in a position where he usually receives the basketball, patient play there. Chen Xiangju is so good moving without the basketball.
Bai sends it back over to Jia Kang. Artino with a kick out for Ken. Poked out, and it is Braves ball.
Plenty of times the two bigs will be helping each other defensively. That's also meaning the other big will have the chance to score, as Chen Xiangju the previous time in Lingzhen in a little inside out with Artino.
No entry to allow. 4 seconds remain. He's got to shake something in, and Chen Jianshuang will get called the foul.
This is very much reminding me of the Pilots versus Lioneers series, because in that series, Irgi went to Lingzhen to defend Holyfield to good effect, as you see Josh able to coax a foul out of the defense. A rare break for the Braves here in quarter 2.
Yeah, here we have Irgi Caminos calling for his first time out.
One thing that was happening at the same time, Michael Holyfield was in the painted air for quite long, as you see Chen Jianshuang guard the passing lane instead of the basket. And I understand the aggression, but Zhou Guoyu, you're smart enough to say, hey, the goal was free, so make an attempt at it, coaxing the foul. In the second quarter, this will only be the first time the Braves go to the line. Typically, when offenses aren't going, you still want to find some ways to score, some ways to put pressure on the defense, while attacking the basket hard or maybe coaxing some fouls, going to the line is one way of doing it. And the Braves weren't able to do that even. They have controlled their turnovers better in this quarter, but like you said, the Pilots are going crazy on these rebounds. 14-5 is the margin.
That posed an issue in the first half of game 3, as Yang Zhenlei interviewed Roger before halftime, and Roger mentioned that they cannot allow those opportunities, especially against the small guards that the Pilots have. With their smaller size and figures, well, they got the advantage. They're scrappy and fast, able to clear those rebounds. Out of timeout. Hook pass over to Chen Jianshuang, wide open from the corner. Launches a misfire. Back over to Xiaobai, no look pass. Long range 2 does not fall, and the Braves have yet to box out.
Well, maybe the offensive magic has gone away from Lingzhen, who's missed a couple of open jumpers. Good hustle there. Maybe got to work on his diving game more. That one just popped up and flew all the way into the stands. But as you saw previously, Chen Jianshuang got 2 hands on it. And what could have been, oh, that's the problem. His feet got in the way.
He kicked it. I was going to say, that ball cannot be covered with that much grease. Pilots still holding on to the lead, 45-28. quite a large lead in the first half. Again, the first 2 games of the finals, well, first game 1 forced into OT. The Braves only won by 2 points, and Pilots winning only by 4 in game 2. And they call Li Jiakang the foul. Pilots now have 14 fouls. Braves only 1.
While the Pilots can gripe about the margin of foul difference, the Braves probably say, hey, you need to play rougher.
Nice screen set up by Holyfield. Goodwin finds Zhou for the bank. And an offensive foul on Holyfield.
Shove in the back, and this one really... Nope, not in the bonus. Don't want to jump the gun.
No, no.
It would have.
No. Yeah. Braves only 1, or now 2 team fouls, as I mentioned earlier. So they got quite a few to spare, considering there's 2 minutes on the clock. Lincoln getting quite a bit of minutes tonight, as Yergy Camino's choosing to only have Will Artino on the court. This double drag screen there for Goodwin to set things up. Artino will get called the foul, will send Goodwin to the free throw line.
Trying to do his best to slide his feet, but understandable that Archie Goodwin's a tough cover.
Once again, Gianluca Tucci, the head coach of the national Chinese Taipei team, making his appearance once again, showing his support. And there you see a foul on Artino. You mentioned, Ryan, that the second quarter, this is only their second appearance at the free throw line.
That's credit to the Pilots. They've been fouling everything on the floor besides Josh. No shooting fouls as Jonah Morrison will get a stint here.
I think this might be his first appearance in the finals.
All local lineup for the Pilots.
Giving ample minutes for the imports. Again, this is a very tough schedule for the finals, as it's only really alternating days, maybe 2 days, as they call a 3-second violation. The Pilots overstayed their welcome in the paint. It's sent over to the Braves.
Perhaps anticipating a shot. That's why some guy was left in, going for the rebound.
There you have it. 67 seconds left in regulation, and Alec Brown checks back into the game. The Braves have only scored 9 points in this quarter. Whereas for the Pauian Pilots, well, their outside shooting has far improved in just the first half alone. Over to Zhou, contested, unbothered. He sinks the 3 to get it up 31 points. Pilots playing 5 out, with Chen Jiaoshuang playing point. Off of Alec Brown's screen. No dice there, Jia Kang. For the hand reach by Zhou. No foul call there. Game clock continues. 10 seconds on the shot clock. 1 second difference between the shot clock and regulation. There you have the call. Foul call on Zhou Guiyu. And again, they had fouls to spare, so Yergy Caminos will spend his last time out making some adjustments. Pilots went on a 14-2 run against against the Braves in the second quarter. As we take a look at the import comparison in stats between Trevion Graham as well as Archie Goodwin. The Trevion Graham, this is his third season with the Pauian Pilots, averaging 10 points per game, whereas Goodwin is the lead scorer of the season, 23.7 points per game. Now, on the other hand, though, Trevion Graham, his outside shooting has dipped significantly, 0% from the outside. So this is their head-to-head in the finals. .3 seconds remain in the second quarter, and the Taipei Fubon Braves, well, they got some work to do before they hit the road once again. Pilots have been a top team all season long. They swept through the annual awards, and they will need to avoid falling behind in a 3-1 situation as Chen Jiangshuang will cap off the second quarter and the first half of Game 4. So again, thanks to their outside shooting and returning back to their team ethos, they definitively take on Game 1 and Game 2 as we have Ryan Chen interviewing Yergi Caminos before our halftime break.
Coach, here at halftime, you have a significant lead over the Braves. It seems to me that the team is finding a lot more rhythm offensively.
This is what we talked these 2 days. The last game we stopped too much. We played too many ISOs. It's not our game. If something made us successful is be the best team in terms of assists and field goal mates, trying to move the ball, trying to be aggressive. That's the only thing that we talk about to have our identity. Whatever they want to play on defense, if they want to play zone matchup, we don't care, because at the end is read the game, but play with rhythm.
Now, Coach, I didn't realize the key to unlocking Artino is playing a lot of Linton. Talk about their connection out there.
The idea on Linton we got before. 2 years ago, we played Lioneers against Holyfield. Linton did really good job with him. And recently, especially his shooting is being well. Today, he didn't make the shot. But we know that he can also spread the court.
All right, good luck, Coach. In the second half, we'll see you later. 第一个问到是领航员的进攻，然后说第3场太多1对1的单打，需要用团队进攻。那第二个说，其实我记得我们对工程师也有很多临阵守住霍利菲的情况。好，我休息后我们再回来。
掌声送给富邦 Angels。再次提醒，中场游戏的参赛者，记得赶快带着你的伙伴来到场边集合报道。还有我们神预测的参赛，神预测的中奖人2位，赶紧来集合，待会要来领奖喽。好，今天呢要来玩点不太一样的游戏。我们都集合完毕了吗？好，看起来有几组都来了。 我们先来一个第一回合的两组，我们直接来到场中，我们这样说明示范比较快。好，来 Brian 一起来到场上，比尔，待会呢跟大家说明一下，待会在中间呢，我跟 Brian 会负责帮他们发射一边的火箭。来，我们另外一组来到这一侧，好，要小心哦。有没有看到这个球车？熟悉的球车，来，你们先帮我，每个人都双手扶着球车的角落，一人一边，对，这很重要哦，你们的默契很重要。待会每一边会有6发火箭，有没有看到这个火箭？我们依序的发射，你们要看看哪一边接到的火箭比较多。待会 Brian 就负责帮他们踩这一侧，我来帮你们踩这一侧。每一组有6发火箭，看看这6发你们可以接到几发，数量比较多的就获胜。它会飞向哪里不知道，但是请你们一定要注意安全，好不好？然后最好是听由一个人去指挥，不然2个人的意见不同会危险。火箭要到球车里哦，好吗？要进球车才算哦。好，准备好，各就各位，听音乐 ，ready go， 我们再开始。后推一点，先到后面一点，我怕距离会蛮远，不一定。来听音乐 ，ready go， 我们才要踩哦。
1, 2, ready go！
来，我这边第一发，小心。好，那个就不要了。来，准备，回来第2发，少力一点哦。完成了吗？还没好，来。小心！哎呀，差一点！来，回来，第3发。好，我小力一点。来，准备哦。
好的，上半场领航员做足了准备哈，我们看到比分已经拉到16分之差了。首先，我们就给大家看一下领航员上半场做了一个战术的变化。OK， 我们看到命中率真的差很多，上半场领航员投进7颗3分了哦。OK， 领航员这个战术上半场做了2次，从牛角启动了以后，正常他们会做到 DHO 之后，这个过来掩护，做一个 pick and roll 的攻击。今天呢，他们做了一个变化，挡拆一发生的时候，马上变成弱边的无球掩护，马上命中，尤其是大个最大的人协防，出不来。战术2次成功，1次李家康，1次卢俊祥都得分了。好的，都没有。好，接着呢，到了勇士的部分。富邦勇士呢，也再一次展现了生日快乐、吹蜡烛、当日到货、即日到货的战术。看看啊，一开始呢，开始表演，好像大家落位是错的。OK， 生日快乐，志杰呢，开始呢串联整个战术了。好像打不出来了。OK， 好，现在志杰呢开始表演了，让防守呢放下戒心啊。接着呢，生日快乐，点蜡烛的这个战术出来了。OK， 开始出。OK， 接着呢送球，当日到货，非常好的一个战术。哇，所以今天战术有打出来了，可是好像只成功1、2次啊，所以最后大货只到了1次，没错，还有很多货没收到，没错。那我们来看一下赛前我们一直提到这2个人啊，霍家拳、蛇形刁手的对决啊，很精彩啊，高手过招啊。阿提诺才投进了1颗3分，重点是他创造了机会以后，我们看一下，跟上一场不一样，上一场霍家拳这么凶，我们看看这种球，阿提诺这么凶，霍师傅在干嘛？考验大家的默契啊！他是在摊手吗？他不是摊手，他是秀什么意思？他是不是做这个？对，秀袖子的秀。好的，来，所以我相信富邦勇士现在应该很紧张了，落后16分，进攻问题这么大，该怎么办？我觉得呢，领航员的进攻要持续的去发挥啊。但富邦勇士呢？他是因为体能的调配啊，没有做到位，体能的恢复没那么好。下半场呢，把心态放正确，扎扎实实的去拼比赛。领航员一定是乘胜追击，他们今天防守很凶，很针对楚德温。那富邦勇士克服了这个强度，稳稳的处理，找到好的进攻，没错，应该就会有不一样的结果。接下来稍作休息后，让我们回到比赛，拜拜。
发，你们有吗？1比1，来，再给他们3发的机会。好，加油！准备，同时同时第1发，来了，第1发 ，Go！ 我抱歉，来，第2发，准备 ，Go！ 没有吗？没有，然后最后1发，来喽 ，Go！ 好，都送吧，来吧，我们整理一下场地，辛苦各位了，谢谢你们，这个考验团队的默契。来，我们参赛者来到场中。来，比尔来到中间，我们先一起拍照，待会来领奖，谢谢。好，给比尔一个位置，谢谢。来看这里。谢谢你们，恭喜你们来帮我到后方领奖。再来神预测的得主，恭喜你可以获得由神送所提供的蓝牙耳机。来到中间，比尔，你要记得颁奖哦。来，一起合照一下。看正前方，谢谢，恭喜你。
不止跑步，还有更多可能。
有一种快，叫助人为快。
留在身上的不是捍卫，是留给地球的人情味。
速度会变，但赛意不变。富邦 Run for Green。让跑步创造更多可能，正向力量成就可能。富邦金控。
You're watching the Plus League Finals Game 4 here at Heping Gymnasium. We are in the midst of halftime right now as we take a look at the first half stats. As there you have it, the Pilots leading 47-31. The largest lead actually was 21 points, but you see for good reason for the Taipei Fubon Braves from the field, they've been shooting dismal. 9 for 29, and as for their threes, well, they've only made 2 threes tonight. And the Pauian Pilots, well, they're still dominant and owning the paint. 25 rebounds to the 17 that the Braves have corralled.
Yeah, in the first quarter, the Braves had a turnover issue, which they did correct, but the Pilots had way more effort. 7 offensive rebounds to 7 defensive rebounds by the Braves. That is not a percentage that's okay. The Pilots' biggest adjustment is actually including more players. Funny enough, you would think if a team that's down, they need to stick with their rotation guys, but the choice to have Lington guard Michael Holyfield for long stretches in the first half has very much paid off. The Braves, their fewest three-point makes in a playoff win, by my research, 8. And their lowest ever as a team in the playoffs, 5 for 28 or 18%. They're kind of on track for that and worse. As early on in the game, the Pilots already getting their hot shooting started.
Yeah, their shooting woes from Game 3 have really transferred over to the Braves.
And the Pilots, as Jurgi mentioned, are sharing the ball a little bit better. 11 assists on their 18 field goals and part of their 5 free throw attempts.
Just as we mentioned in Game 3 and in tonight's game, Roger immediately subbing out Holyfield, bringing in Yankovic. Well, Jurgi Caminos almost responded in the same way, rotating in players that we have never seen in the finals. As very shortly, we have Yang Zhenlei interviewing Roger. before we get things started in the second half.
I'm sure there's to be many questions for Roger, and I'm sure Roger has many answers or many suggestions as well in coaching points. 16 points is the biggest margin at halftime in this Plus League playoffs. Previously, it was 14. It does seem to me that at some points, the Braves are a lot more concerned with the physicality and the no calls out there than actually trying to win the ball game. And they're the ones in the lead with 12 Pilots fouls to 7 received by the Pilots, by the Braves. Of course, counting the technical foul in frustration, as we're just about set for Aaron to interview Roger, as you mentioned, courtside, to wrap up our halftime coverage.
是许晋哲总教练，许哥来谈一下命中率的这个状况了，包括三分球都是很低，下半场怎么解决？
我觉得他们今天打得非常强势嘛。上一场球是我们在防守端上面给对方的压力，然后今天反倒是领航员在进防守端给我们更大的压力，所以让我们出手都不是很舒服。所以中场进去我们有讲说，我们下半场希望能够改变一些进攻的逻辑，然后希望大家球员能够去做一些改变。
谢谢，下半场继续加油。我们休息一下之后回来。
Check check， 这里是勇士的阵地，蓝色血脉的汇聚。Braves， 和平馆灯光亮起，没人能挡住这股战役。从老将到新血，每个名字都是传奇。准备好迎接这场
我们幸运的朋友们看一下，是不是中奖的就是你？在赛后活动有5位幸运的季票得主，记得在指定的时间地点来集合报到。 再来看一下下一张，动次席也有3位幸运得主，一样在我们的指定时间地点报到来，可以在赛后来到场中参与我们的赛后活动。谢谢大家。
Check check， 这里是勇士的阵地，蓝色血脉的汇聚。Braves， 和平馆灯光亮起，没人能挡住这股战役。从老将到新血，每个名字都是传奇。准备好迎接这场同着来的游戏。Let's go！ 发动引擎，东北角一个正在超车，速度像闪电，蓝洋小跑车。来听恩切入防守者只能看着它消失，脚膀撑有尾权的发动机，控球像斜视，岁月像导航，青春穿针引线，后场只会让对手陷入苦战边缘。看 Spencer Land 领队有 MIT 的学霸，球上刚下人精准投射，让对手害怕。有武有胜，帅气球技没人能掀，国民姐夫将领全场迷妹都为他沦陷。红盖进 KJ， 锋芒内敛放冷箭，三分入网就是他最华丽的表现。这道墙拆不掉，周桂宇再次 lock down， 防守锁死你逆流的桂宇，没人能敌，不得问切入，披荆斩棘，得到风筝是切开风日。
On screen right now is Archie Goodwin's invitee, fellow basketball player Sonny Weems in the building to cheer on his teammate. Archie Goodwin in his first year. Archie Goodwin in his first year with the Taipei Fubon Braves, in his first year playing in Taiwan, invited his friend NBA and a CBA player, Sonny Weems, sitting courtside. And Taylor, I can tell you, while interviewing Yuri Kiminos, it is close to a packed house, but unfortunately for the Braves, not seeing the results and not duplicating what the Wednesday lead for the Braves, as the group who sang the Beast send-off song, as well as members of the members former and members current of the New Taipei Kings, Lin Qinbang and Lin Miren, also paying a visit.
Well, they were also former Pilots players too,
That's
so
right.
here to support
Pauian.
their former teammates and coaches.
Yeah, Roger Xu in charge of the Pauian group that won 4 straight titles. Then Roger winning 3 straight Plus League titles.
And talking to Yang Zhenlei earlier on how to adjust in the second half. Well, Roger kept it short and sweet. Pilots are playing tough on defense again. They are a gritty group, forcing the Braves to make contested and very difficult shots. And the numbers have proved it from the field. The Braves have only hit 31% of their shots.
And the Braves typically are a much better defensive unit in these playoffs. Seen their net rating, or defensive rating, go up by 7 points last year and nearly 7 points this season. But the Pilots, an early 47 piece.
The Pilots will choose to start their starting 5 in the third. For the Braves, we have Chen Youwei, Zhou Guiyu, Goodwin, Yankovic, as well as Mo to get things started for the Braves. A win for the Pilots will tie up the series. A win for the Braves, well, that's a huge advantage. And it'll be a very tough hole for the Pilots to climb out of. Xiaobai scored all of his points in the second quarter. Gets smacked down hard by Mo. Youwei with a Euro step, threads the needle over to Mo.
Little unlucky there as Ethan veered back to get the steal.
Oh, Pilots will get possession.
Baye stuffed Guan Dayo hard in game 3 that led to a break for the Braves. Van Graham only played 7 minutes in the first half, and it seemed like it was all in the first quarter.
Yeah, most definitely. Like we mentioned before, we saw Artino as the only foreign player for the Pilots for several minutes as Trevion Graham kisses the glass and hits his 3. In the second half, or in the first half, the Pilots have had the lead for almost 20 minutes. Loose ball, trying to find Goodwin there. Here, Mo going around Dan and Brown. He gets called travel.
Kind of a tough break there, as Mbaye might have settled for too many outside shots in the first half. As Andy wisely finding an outlet. And we mentioned Graham a little bit shy to take those outside threes, but seeing one go down might develop a little bit of confidence and rhythm.
He must have got some inspiration from Artino. Making a 3. Yankovic trying to yank a 3 back to the Braves.
You can tell in transition the balance was not quite there. The Braves kind of lose out on an opportunity after getting another stop.
Junxiang off of Dian's screen. And intercepted, no call.
Sounds like we have extracurriculars.
So they call a warning for flopping here.
Well, the referees blatantly miss one, though the only defense is that slot official is stacked to the play, so he needs help from one of his crewmates, but that is a blatant miss. And despite the calls or no calls, the Pilots are playing through it much better than the Braves.
Goodwin over to Yankovic. And Yankovic will draw a foul off of Wu Junxiang.
But not a bad defensive move by Justin to try to intercept the pass with all the attention in the two-man game up top. You know, look, you see Justin just beat late and crashing into Yankovic. If he got all ball and smacked it all the way to the Braves backcourt, well, the Pilots would have had a fast break chance. No call there, as the Yankovic already getting a hit to the temple earlier in this series.
Ten seconds on the shot clock. Goodwin guarded by Xiaobai, but with no issues, shaking down the long-range two. Got 11 points tonight, 4 for 8 from the field. As they call Zhou Guiyu for the foul there. That's his second one tonight.
Ethan got his hips switched and allowed Goodwin a little bit of daylight as a pretty good contest still.
That's tough. I mean, nothing you can do about that. That rolls out of bounds. And it's still Pilots.
And maybe time to get Justin out of there for just to cool them down. It might have felt some contact on that last one as well. Let's see, does get smacked a little bit in the wrist by Goodwin.
Yeah, but timing cannot be more important for him to just cool off, but still choosing to play him right now. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Graham. Guarded by Yowei. With a kick out over to Alec Brown. Too strong, too deep. As Andy finding Trevion Graham, but Yankovic says, not in my house. Possession goes to Taipei Fubon Braves.
Finally, the Braves get a little bit of a break with the stop and the foul to catch their breath. Otherwise, the Pilots are still putting the pressure on. Amdi almost with a magnificent dime. If Graham goes up right away, might have stood a better chance.
Just not quite as fast as he used to be. Again, you mentioned it, Ryan, earlier. He only played 7 minutes earlier, as we have a step back jumper for Archie Goodwin. So these last 2 buckets, all thanks to Archie Goodwin, the lead scorer of Plus League this season. And so you're already getting his second foul in the third quarter, 3 total.
Trying to do his best to make it tough for Justin. Meanwhile, Archie Goodwin, great fundamentals there on the catch. Instead of going toward the basket like a big man, you know, jumping away from the defender, create some space, get that jumper off.
And a one and done for Lu Junxiang. Needed to get himself out of that little funk. We sent to the line.
He beat Josh off the dribble, but it certainly felt like the Pilots put him in a much better position in space on the catch so he can make that dribble move into the gap of the defense.
In this game now, he's got 13 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Braves continue to trail behind at the free throw line. Chen Yowei shakes in the 2.
For once, Archie Goodwin, off-ball situation on the downscreen, drawing multiple defenders.
Wu Junxiang sent out. They call it on Mo. Just like that, the Braves have racked up 5 team fouls, which will send Justin to the line. You see Mo hacking downwards at Justin.
That's after the body bump, which I felt like was the initial call. The Braves trying to play physical, and it only works if you actually get the stop. But the referees blow the whistle. That's all for naught.
Jack checks into the game. Score now 54-37.
Tricky thing for the Braves is looking at the score sheet. Beast played nearly 12 minutes. KJ a -17 in the first half. I get a feeling that the Braves are running low on rotation options.
Three was high up for Alec Brown to pick it up, and Archie Goodwin will pick up his first foul in the third.
Definitely not what Roger wanted. Get an okay shot attempt. It's okay that it's a miss, but putting another pilot at the line is just going to put even more pressure on the Braves. There you see trying to go for the ball, end up shoulder checking Ethan.
The free throws are automatic for the Pilots. Here on out, 7 minutes, 41 seconds. Let's just hope that the Pilots can continue to stay consistent at the free throw line. In the first half, they were only sent to the line 3 times, but they made 4 of their 5 free throw attempts. And just like that, they're back to a 20-point lead. The most that they made Wei was 21 points off the glass, too short for the Braves.
Credit to Alec Brown with a block shot at the end, and I think the frustration is building for the Braves as Josh fouls in transition again. Well, the Braves are certainly making it ugly. There you see Goodwin cutting back door, but Alec Brown has seen that many times this season. Jumping all the way down from the nail. Incredible reach. And Ethan already in a little bit of a stumble.
Not efficient minutes for Dokwe either. That's his 4th foul tonight. That has Ayalton at the free throw line.
Maybe whatever Roger did to demolish the Braves in the locker room, they're taking it out literally on the Pilots.
5 of these points made alone in the third quarter were just from free throws. As Xiaobai will get a breather. Chen Jianshuang returns. The youngest player in Plus League history to hit a triple-double, and that was against the newly formed team, the Yankee Arc. In the later half of the season, they call a blocking foul.
Pretty unlucky if you're Li Jiakang to take all that contact. Let's get another look. Goodwin setting the screen. Jackie, yeah, you can have a case that it was a beat late. But if I was Yankovic and the Braves, I certainly wouldn't want to see that happen again, because it could be going the other way next time.
And the whistle comes for Lu Junxiang. Now they're racking up their team fouls. And that's his 3rd one tonight.
That one's a lot more obvious. It was late to the spot. But I think with the lead that the Pilots built up, they can afford to have some rotation. And if we learned anything from their bench, they played with a lot of urgency and with a lot of fight. So maybe they'll be more disciplined defensively.
Most definitely. We'll see Ling Mingwei checking in for the first time. Maybe that's a boost of energy that they could really use to add even more insurance for their lead. And that was a volleyball tap out as bodies hit the floor like bowling pins, as we call jump ball for the Braves.
Not what you want to see, as Ambi once again playing peacemaker, pulling away his teammates from the officials.
Anyway, it must have been really feisty, whatever he had to say, which had Andy pull him really hard away. As we go into timeout, our first timeout in the third quarter. Pilots still with a hefty lead, 58-37. We will be right back.
一起跳跳舞，好不好？这位朋友来跟着呱呱一起动一动，好吗？双手跟着呱呱一起来，谢谢你，非常好。来了，小朋友跟着主任姐姐一起跳跳舞。 可爱的小朋友，来下一位朋友欢迎，跟着主任跳跳舞。哦，厉害的哦，专业的，两位一起跳起来。来，这位朋友，也来跟着主任动一动。 两位跟着安娜还有 Tiffany 跳起来！欢迎我们小男孩乐团一起来，米菲不要害羞。来，这位朋友跟着秀秀子跳起来！秀秀子带他一起动一动。 下一位朋友来跟着俄语跳跳舞。
Well, if you're not entertained by Game 4, at least we got the dance cam going on here at Heping Gymnasium for Game 4 of the Plus League Finals. This is the final game here at Heping before we swing back over to Taoyuan Arena, where we will alternate gyms from there on out. So far, Chen and Goodwin have been the only players to try to make a dent in the score. 4 points for Goodwin, Chen 2 points.
Well, one thing that the Braves are doing, not letting the Pilots develop any rhythm, as you see Andy climbing underneath Holyfield. Seen worse. The Pilots only 2 for 11 from the field, but because the Braves are so physical, I think overly physical, Pilots sent to the line, they made 6 of 11 free throws. Meanwhile, not really sure what's going on. I think the referees just shoo everyone to their bench with that final play before we went to our timeout. Nimiwe is probably a better defender than he is an offensive player, and it's shown in a couple of possessions, a couple of chances here in Game 4.
Camino sending Artino back into the game. Only foreign player for the Pilots, and there is a coast-to-coast finish for Taoyuan. Really the only point of offense between him and Goodwin this game.
Anyways, got the series best volume three-point shooting at 41%, but they're going to need him to be a playmaker.
2 threes made tonight for William Artino. Launching these missiles. A pleasant surprise. Goodwin getting some inspiration. He didn't make it, but he'll get 3 attempts at the free throw line.
Yeah, all season long, you can ignore William Martino's three-point percentage because he took so few threes. But if he can develop a stroke, that'll really change up the series. As you see Lee Jiakang, another jumping, twisting, spinning contest. Don't do that. Just fly by.
I mean, look, during the regular season, Artino is only a 14% shooter from out in the perimeter. But, man, those 2 threes show a different part of his game. That one is good. He's now got 14 points on the scoreboard.
Because of the way this arena is, the Pilots on the left, Braves on the right, actually Goodwin's shooting into a little bit of the orange in the stands.
And we all know here in Taiwan Pro Ball, Pilots fans, they travel quite well domestically and internationally. No matter where the Pilots travel, well, you're going to see a little cluster of the Pilots crew and Pilots fans. Chen Jianshuang left wide open. Goes high up, back into the hands of the Braves. Let's see if Beast can bring some life back for the Braves.
Definitely figured that they would have a lot more high ball screens with Holyfield.
And the fadeaway, little shy for Archie Goodwin, and that was a loose ball, and here comes Archie Goodwin, 2-1. Here's a poetic finish.
Yeah, careless mistake by the Pilots. Archie Goodwin might be one of the quickest straight line drive players in the Plus League this season.
Still showing to be very cool, calm, and collected for the Braves. He's now racked in 17 points tonight. And again, the possession quickly going back over to the Braves. And what a finish for the up high and down hard for Zheng Xiangjun. Taoyuan throwing the dime to make things happen. Getting some life in back for the Heping Gymnasium crowd. Yergy Caminos now forcing the game clock to stop. He calls for the timeout.
Yeah, William Martino has not been good with those running push shots, and the Pilots multiple times succeed Braves going on the fast break. The Braves led 11-2 in the first half in the fast break point department. It kind of goes to show their half-court offense was that poor. Well, to get back in this game, they're probably going to have to go on the run a lot more, hasten up the pace, and put the pressure back on the Pilots.
What a posterizer for Zheng Xiangjun. It looked like he almost caught it. He looked like he did catch a body. So we hopefully can take a listen to coaches on both ends.
It's the Artino 3. It looks like the Pilots reserves are having some struggles out there. It's the Owen missed 3, Owen turnover, Artino with a runner. That's all it took for Yergy. And one of the things that the Braves have made famous is their philosophy of getting 3 straight stops. Well, 3 straight stops plus 3 straight scores will make their opponents a lot more nervous.
Zheng Xiangjun earning extra minutes getting into playoffs. He's now really proving to do so as Goodwin will get called the foul. More free throws for the Pilots. And he will be in some foul trouble. That is his 4th one tonight.
Yeah, just a straight drive by Lee Jiakang, and Goodwin was late to the spot.
Rattles in for Lee Jiakang.
Don't forget, Goodwin picked up that technical in the first half. And he's, I think, won the case for himself to stay in a little bit longer.
Second one was too shy for Lee Jiakang. Trying to finish things off. Out of bounds. Pilots made the last touch. Archie Goodwin getting picked up. Pulled up as the Braves have 16 seconds to convert this possession into points.
I think a good no call there by the officials. I think it looked like serious contact, but I think it was fair contact between Jackie and Goodwin.
Shot for Beast. Sending it back. Martino on the baseline. Kicking outwards to Owen. There's the up and under finish. 7 points coming off the bench tonight for Chen Jiaoshuang. Yue from the corner launches a missile, and he hits the target.
Good job by Beast. Kind of a self-preservation, kind of spinning catch to avoid a turnover or getting a heavy blow. And it turned out the opening pass was in the corner. Meanwhile, Chen Jiaoshuang with an incredible finish on the previous one.
A much-needed finish at that. That was only their first 3 in the third. They are 1 for 6. And Goodwin lobs it upwards, trying to desperately make a shot.
Considering he had 2 defenders on him that entire possession, it's understandable how it would have been really tough. As you see, Chen Jiaoshuang used the goal and the backboard to shield him from Holyfield's block.
By over Martino's screen, sending it outwards back to Lee Jiakang. Drawing a foul. That is Zheng Xiangjun's foul, and 1 and done for Jackie.
And the Braves play such good defense on that possession, and then Zheng Xiangjun just allowed the blow by. You see Jackie actually lost the basketball. That was not an intentional move, and the reach-in poorly timed. Lee Jiakang has, as you mentioned, struggled in this series. That last jumper he took, not even close, but still able to add some more points for the Pilots.
Goodwin with no entry allowed. He has to reset out the perimeter, and Beast trying to shake down the 3, sending it over to Pilots. No look pass out. Owen for 3, off mark. Pass over to Beast. Drive in for Goodwin. A tough one for him. He's always going to have 2 Pilots players on him. He's basically shut down. Martino putting Holyfield, trying to put Holyfield in the spins. Couldn't finish the hook shot.
Yeah, Martino's mechanics on that hook shot kind of broke down there. Did not take the ideal angle.
Sidestepping. 0 for 2 in the third for Beast.
Kind of a far cry from his send-off at Taipei Arena, only shooting 20% coming in to this game from the perimeter.
seconds remain in regulation. William Artino trying to make his third three. I think he's feeling it in his bones. He's got to get three, or he wants to get three tonight, I'm sure. Loose ball.
No, it was a foul call as Goodwin, very demonstrative. The referee's whistles have got to be louder. That's multiple times now of a player has not heard, and you know, hit to the chest. Emotions are running too high right now.
$67-49. You still see Goodwin trying to settle down. Artino sent back to the bench. Trevion Graham returns.
Yeah, Artino, one of the other players, kind of seeing the motion. The Pilots had a 5-on-4 opportunity, and he was holding the ball, complaining more so than actually getting an outlet pass. And that was the possession. He didn't finish with a missed hook shot, I should say.
I suppose it's positive for the Braves. Well, turnovers have dropped. Only committed 3 in this quarter. As Jeff Wu checks into the game for the first time.
Somehow the Pilots shooting 5 for 20, 1, and still able to score 20 points on this quarter.
Anyway, sends it to Alec Brown. That was too strong, and Amdi Dien couldn't pick up the two-piece. Away. No answer. And not much of a strategy.
Well, he's, I believe, trying to go for the 2-for-1.
Owen letting the clock run. With the shot clock 3 seconds ahead. Beat the clock. Unable to do so.
Poor awareness by Owen. He must have assumed he was playing the game clock and not the shot clock. As you mentioned, there was a 3-second difference.
So referees will see if they need to adjust the clock now. It's currently at 1.7.
Well, the difference is if he shoots the ball before the end of the shot clock and ends up as an air ball, then you can understand more time would run off.
Violation. Violation.
Because he didn't get the shot off. It should be exactly when he doesn't release the ball and the lights turn on.
So basically reiterated what you said. Wants to see when the ball was released. So they will adjust it after all from 1.7 to 2.4.
Trouble for the Braves. Seems like the halftime break has not improved their offensive game. 1 of 7 from three-point land, and again expending a lot of beast. Unfortunately, is struggling to score himself. He generated a little bit of offense on that kind of duck-in cut where he assisted the corner man.
Yankovic cranks one out with no avail. Unfortunately, the Pilots outscore the Braves just by 1 point, but that is still enough, plenty, for them to hold on to that lead, 67-50. We'll return back into gameplay after another break. Stay tuned for more Plus League Finals.
来，今天一起跟着我们 Angels 的浩真一起比出一样的动作。谢谢两位。很好，欢迎这位桂鱼的粉丝一起跟着浩真比出一样的动作。来看到的是卡洛琳、安娜、Tiffany。 跟着浩真一起比一比。谢谢你们，非常棒的示范。来喽，小男孩乐团。现在听到的歌曲正是小男孩乐团的歌曲。一起跟着我们的浩真比出一样的动作好吗？谢谢你们一起来支持勇士们。好，我们请到浩真本人，要来跟着大荧幕上的浩真一样。到底左边的才是浩真，还是右边的才是浩真？谢谢你，可爱的小朋友。非常好，跟着浩真姐姐一起来。来到下一位朋友，换你喽！谢谢你。来，双手跟着浩真比一比，谢谢两位。来喽，看到呱呱、贝尔、敏珍一起跟着浩真比一比。
As you mentioned, Ryan, the Taipei Fubon Braves unable to adjust during the halftime as the Taoyuan Purim Pilots continue on with the lead in Game 4 of the Plus League Finals. Taylor Chen and Ryan Chen calling finals all week long, all season long.
The Pilots haven't been humming offensively, 20 points in Q2 and Q3, but crucially the Braves, seems like their offense is almost in even more panic down the stretch.
Pilots starting off strong.
Yeah, that's a reverse high-low with Brown on the outside, Graham on the inside. Usually it's the taller player who gets the low position.
Why not shake things up? They're almost back to a 20-point lead as Beast turning things up.
Yeah, a higher degree of difficulty with the dribble pull-up, but Beast has been very good on the day after his birthday. In Season 2, at the time, a career high in the playoffs, 27 points against the Dreamers. That was that double OT game.
Pull-up jumper is good for Chen Jiangshuang. Starting in the fourth quarter. Kick out over to Yowei. Good look by Beast. He found his open man as once again Holyfield is on the floor. They call it on Trevion Graham.
I think they called a jump ball, so not as bad for the Pilots, but for their side, understandably frustrated. You see Zijie actually a little bit better with the left side step back. As you see Trevion Graham, how strong he is to throw Holyfield off of him in that jump ball situation.
From the parking lot. Sent back immediately.
Jeff Wu has not had that much contributions on the offensive end. He's not played a lot in this series.
Let's running horn offense here in this possession. Xiaobai bobbing and weaving with the scoop, and Holyfield rejects it back. As Trevion Graham will try to get the three from up top. What a hack by Michael Holyfield. Step back three for Beast is good, and the Beast mode is turned back on.
Again, look at the personnel for the Braves. Li Zijie along with the two import bigs. They know their roles. Try to get Beast open, try to get him in rhythm, inspire the team. Meanwhile, on defense, they've already got multiple block shots.
Braves trying to get a very late comeback. And it looks like it's up to the hands of Beast. Foul call is made from the slot official. They call it a pushing foul on Wu Yongsun Jeff.
And look at the spring in his step. Even at his seniority able to get away from the defender and get off a clean shot. Lin Zijie probably still has one of the highest verticals on his individual jump shots.
Yeah, I saw it. I forgot the number, but he's got a beast exhibition out in Songyan Tobacco Factory. You've got a VR experience where you can try to beat it up until June 22nd. So Braves will be subbing back in some players, including Archie Goodwin. Yankovic not quite having the game as expected in comparison to a game at 3. Cold tonight, only scored 4 points so far. Trevion Grant for the 3. Forces it. And it comes through.
What a backbreaker for the Braves, who defended that baseline out of bounds so well.
And Archie Goodwin, though, not letting time pass too quickly. He's already knocked in 21 points.
His first made 3. Let's see if that three-point shooting is infectious.
They're trying to fight for a comeback, while the Pilots, well, they're trying to build up more insurance in this game before they head home for their Sunday matchup. Goodwin through body contact up against Xiaobai. It's 4-4.
Man, it was a hard fall by both Goodwin and Ethan there. And once again, kind of curious case where Alec Brown not finding all that good rhythm. Went to the running hook, which is not really that much in his arsenal. Take another look at previously Goodwin against his former teammate twice over in Alec Brown.
And they were former teammates back out in Ukraine in 2023 and reunited, but in opposing teams here in Plus League. So we have a coach's challenge right now.
圆柱体刚好重叠，对球防守。对，先看完。你后面有看到什么？我们先看完，看出手后有没有后续的动作。
The referees are checking to see if there's any follow-up movement that could justify an unsportsmanlike foul.
Looks like, unfortunately for Xiaobai, he wanted to get knocked out by Goodwin, but not by his hands or his body, it's by the basketball.
经过主教练挑战，古德温的出手被封阻以后的行为没有暴力行为，挑战失败。刚刚霍利菲。 犯规，当员前场球。
Just a reminder, before the coach's challenge, Michael Holyfield did get the Braves' first team foul. But in the meantime, the crew chief announced that there was no unsportsmanlike foul justified for Archie Goodwin.
I'm sure Ethan felt a heavy impact, but from what we saw in the replay, it looked like it was the basketball. And not usually something you would see, but it's kind of understandable. If you get a basketball hard into your nose, into your face, it might blind you for a bit. You might not know that it wasn't your opponent.
Wu Jinxiang cutting downhill.
So close.
And a foul call there, a blocking foul on Ling Zhen, just returning back to the court. That's his third one tonight. He's getting extra minutes in game 4. Graham and Ling Zhen sent back to the bench. Archie Goodwin, the low arching three-point attempt, will go in for the second. Still too short. Picking up where he left off, back over to Yowei. Unfortunately, Michael Holyfield gets called the travel violation.
Yeah, the pass arrived so quick, he was not able to get into his hop. You see the ball arrived in his hands with his 2 feet on the ground, and then he hops forward.
The score remains 74-59.
Yeah, as hard as the Braves played in the first 4 minutes or so, they've only caught up by 2 points.
Last one was made by Archie Goodwin for 3. So almost 2 minutes since the Braves have scored. And even more so for the Pilots, quite frankly. That was after Chen Jiashuang with the 2-piece. We've hit a low on both ends. The final quarter, not which we have been familiar with. Game 3 on Wednesday. As we mentioned before, Pilots only scored 8 points, 14 for the Braves. 6 seconds remain. That ball gets poked out. Justin with a save, beating the clock. Hot hands. Go away. Will clear the rebound. On the right rhythm, as you said earlier, Ryan, as Goodwin finds Douguier.
Remember, Josh was one of the more physical defenders in quarter 3, but to the point where it was actually backfiring on the Braves. Let's see if he can quickly find some rhythm here in the 4th.
Yeah, he was quick to pick up 3 fouls in the 3rd, so he's already got 4. Just like that. I mean, look, it's still a game. Braves are behind 13 points. They're slowly climbing back, but we'll see if the Pilots can respond back. As again, Caminos rotating in and out of his players quite frequently tonight.
Look at that, immediately Amdi in the game, making an impact on a lucky ball, gives it to a teammate. It's not running a lot of offense here in the 4th quarter.
And once again, Pilots still with possession.
Maybe they were watching the NBA film, taking their time with it.
There's a putback for Amdi Dien. Game, Dien has logged in 6 points, 8 rebounds so far. 6 of those rebounds are offensive rebounds. KJ, he shoots, he scores, nothing but net. Off the bench, he's 1 for 2. And another stoppage in the game. That is a foul call on Michael Holyfield.
And an unsportsmanlike at that as well. Michael Holyfield may be frustrated that Amdi is able to get putbacks, but Holyfield, he has 2 offensive rebounds, but none chance at turning and firing back at the goal.
So we'll get into our first timeout in the 4th. The score now 76-64. We will be right back with more Plus League Finals.
No fast break. Hey, we fast break, go corner action. No corner action, we go punch. Everyone, we need fast break.
来喽，这边的朋友需要你们的声音。虽然不知道为什么很想点播一首《你是我的眼》，但是需要大家的声音借给勇士好吗？就在这里了，送完好了。
End of timeout，暂停时间到。
You're watching Plus League's Finals Game 4 here at Heping Gymnasium.
It's the new Secretary General Pauian of the Chinese Taipei Basketball Association taking in the game. A lot of personnel changes. And it's pretty incredible if they're going to downgrade this foul, as Holyfield was seeking Amdi. Neither of those gentlemen with the basketball. Considering it was not even part of the play, the referee was right on it. I think he was right. And it's not a really good look for the officials to having to review this.
Crew chief is asking for a different camera angle.
OK， 这个接触面是在手臂下方跟腋下的部分，这是一个 U， 维持原判 U， 然后林恩迪2次罚球，领航员前场球。
I guess the only thing that could be really excusable about this review is if they would have possibly upgraded, because the trailing official was all over that contact. So when the PA said, "Oh, we might see a downgrade," it's like that seems impossible. Well, they were identifying there was contact shoulders and arms area, so it won't be an upgrade. Not like he took a shot at Amdi's head and neck area, and that is going to put a lot of dosage on the Braves' efforts here in the fourth quarter.
They had a little bit of momentum to start off the fourth quarter thanks to Beast. Just as they catch a little bit of wind, well, the Pilots, they're still hanging on again. Thankfully, with such a huge lead that they've been carrying over.
And Amdi's been good from the line coming into tonight. 9 for 11. And despite what I would assume as a coach is pretty hard to take. You foul a guy in transition, not even part of the play, cost your team 2 free throws. Well, it might have taken him out, but personnel-wise, the Braves don't have a lot to work with.
Tough shot, tough take for Justin. AJ through the baseline, returns the favor for the 3. No, return back.
Don't have to hurry, but have to take good shots.
And that good shot indeed for Archie Goodwin. Score now 78-67. Get past. And a reset kick out back to Alec Brown off mark.
Brown has once again gone cold. 1 for 10. Probably contributed much more on the defensive end tonight.
Archie Goodwin holding on to his elbow there. Had a shot at the line. Braves pulling ahead in the fourth quarter. 17 points for the Braves, 11 points for the Pilots.
Consider Goodwin kind of lucky here, as there was the bump for the foul. The contact with Owen on the elbow was self-inflicted.
First one is good.
Good thing it's his non-shooting arm.
Goodwin, 25 points. 7 of those points tonight, now 8 made from the line. And just like that, we got ourselves a game still. As the Braves, they close the gap. They're only down 9 points now. And a loose ball, poor handles there by Chen Shuang coming through coast to coast is Archie Goodwin, and here comes Jack. bringing down the hammer and turning up the heat here at Heping Gymnasium. The score is now 78-71. Just as we thought, all is lost for the Braves tonight. Well, they come back swinging in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Justin right now is the weak link for the Pilots. Loose handles with the pressure of Josh.
From the parking lot. He chucks it, unfortunately, and just like that, Braves have a possession. Again, with this momentum swing, well, 3 minutes is plenty of time for them to tie up the score. Archie Goodwin lets it sail.
Numbers for the Pilots, though, they don't take advantage with Goodwin going down.
To the wing, Jia Kang forces it, but has to pass it outwards to Alec Brown. He gets the long range too.
Credit to Alec Brown, knowing he's not quite in rhythm, a dribble pull-up, making a little bit of easier shot and more of an opening for himself. Finally, the Pilots get a score here in the fourth after a while.
21 points for the Braves in the fourth, and Archie Goodwin lets it fly, but that does not fall in.
Good read by Jackie and Alec Brown there, knowing that Archie Goodwin probably wouldn't give up the basketball there. Chen can just screen for him. Pilots already playing keep away offense.
No call there. Amdi Dien brings it down himself, and Archie Goodwin is still on the floor.
Now this is one that the referee should review. Curious how Archie Goodwin ended up on the deck.
Looked like he got decked in the nose. That's what it looked like. No blood, luckily. But we'll take a look back. So Brown's elbow makes the contact.
I don't know if it raises to the level of unsportsmanlike. It is contact. Makes sense that the Braves would want to challenge the contact. Because it was not called, you would imagine it might take a higher degree of a higher threshold for the referees to issue an unsportsmanlike there, because again, it has to be an unsportsmanlike. If they think that was some incidental contact, it could have been an incidental common foul, they'd be hard pressed to insert a foul in this situation. And for the Braves, the thing that sucks is the Pilots just made another basket.
So I don't know. Just seems like a standard movement there from Brown.
富邦主教练挑战，刚刚博朗跟古德温的接触，经检视属于一般接触，挑战失败。
So the challenge turns out to be unsuccessful for the Braves.
Considering how late it is in the ball game and that's your main scorer, I understand that the Braves would want to challenge that.
没关系，他现在可以决定要不要。对，我现在就要问他。我现在问，我被扣了一个，我还有几个。对啊，他刚不是我挑战失败是被扣一个。
So it seems like Roger is trying to clarify something at the score table.
I think Roger believes he already called the challenge and was successful, so the second challenge might take away his timeout. So he just want to ensure he has as many timeouts as he can have. So he might have thought that because the challenge was unsuccessful, he already lost the timeout. But maybe he decided to take one right here. And probably a smart move considering Archie Goodwin is carried the lion's share of the Braves scoring once again. And here in the second half has played nearly 20 minutes.
Attack here. Yeah, like that. If you first one, you fly.
Oh, Ryan, you mentioned that B celebrated his 44th birthday yesterday, so you mentioned that he seems to perform really well, as we have Roger giving him his flowers.
然后18岁把他带到亚青，然后跟中华队的合作，其实我跟他配合非常长的一段时间，到现在我真的蛮尊敬他、尊敬他，就打到现在这个年纪还在球场上奔驰，而且大家可以看出来他的拼劲跟他的动作完全不像是这个年纪的人。我也经历过44岁，所以如果任何就是打球的朋友经历过44岁，你应该知道44岁能不能打出像杰哥这样的一个水准，所以我真的对他非常的尊敬他。然后我们团队其实整个球队都有一个共识，希望我们今年能够有一个非常好的一个ending， 能够给他一个非常好的回忆。
Roger Shu giving him his flowers. He's been working with Beast on a professional level ever since he was 18. And this is probably one of the longest working relationships in Taiwan Pro Ball. And he really respects and admires Beast for one, playing as long as he has, and to play at the standard that he does still to this day. And obviously him, as well as the entire organization, they all hope for a storybook ending to conclude his career this season. Oh, we see him still playing with under 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Just as the Braves close the gap, well, the Pilots, well, they put a lid on it, quite frankly, as they still managed to pull ahead 11 points.
Yeah, not easy by Goodwin to go up against two bigs, as the Pilots, you would think this team has been through so many battles, would know at least to get the ball across the front court. And I think a break for them, because if you ask me, Lu Chengxiang has had a real tough game. He was getting some rhythm in that second quarter, but overall 4 for 18, and now part of a backcourt that had a 8-second violation.
The high screen. Yankovic, B swinging over to the sniper and beats the clock. Pretty sure he has one of those every single game in the finals.
Sure seems like that, and again, he's such a height advantage. Like he says, as long as he scores his shoulder, stands a very good chance. As a lot of players going down, might be a slippery floor out there.
Misfire pass way out of bounds for Alec Brown.
Typically, Alec Brown kind of shovels past, but with his fingers up and pushing it down. That time he was trying to shovel it, kind of scoop it toward his passing target.
Braves with the ball, Archie Goodwin. Braves hoping that he recovered quickly after that contact made by Brown. Over Alec Brown. Zheng Xianjun's shot was halfway in and out.
This B's giving a good effort, but not so familiar with scoring close to the basket these days.
Out of bounds, still Pilots ball.
The Braves were right on top of it. It definitely looked like a bad choice by the Pilot in the corner to bring it into more trouble, as the referees will initiate this review on their own.
Quite a few reviews at the IRS. Can't afford to make mistakes or miss any calls in the finals. We have the rematch between the Braves and Pilots from last season's finals, as we see between Zhou Guanyu and Li Jiakang. So they do change the call. It's back over to the Braves.
That's the Pilots' 4th turnover in this quarter, considering they've been held offensively to a low percentage. They really can't afford to give away the basketball. And earlier on in the quarter, that's what fueled the Braves in the fast break, who still have a prayer, but they got to get to work fast.
We take a span at the basketball dignitaries tonight. Gianluca Tucci got upgraded to courtside.
We won't speculate what kind of secondary market ticketing app you might have went to, which, by the way, is not legal here in Taiwan to go to the secondary market.
Oh, no StubHub?
Nope. Ticketmaster, SeatGeek.
SeatGeek. I don't think Ticketmaster is the second. Anyways, we go on to continue with gameplay as Archie Goodwin sinks the 3.
A way to turn that turnover by the Pilots into their advantage. As again, the Pilots guards are doing all the wrong things out there.
Their head's kind of in a bit of a tizzy as, well, they get some relief there. That's as the referee calls a foul on Archie Goodwin.
Initially, they looked like they had a kind of a trap going as Goodwin just going to the patent dribble pull-up, got the laces right, to borrow baseball and football term. But down court, the Pilots almost turned it over again and ended up Archie Goodwin having to pay with his 5th personal foul. So there's some tricky defense going on for the rest of 15 seconds because whoever's closest to the ball basically needs to get a foul, being down by 2 possessions.
Trevion Graham awaits to get subbed back in. Initially trying to bring him in before the free throws. The first one is a miss. A huge relief for the Braves fans. Disappointed faces from the Pilots crew. Free throws are pretty consistent tonight for the Pilots. 14 for 18. While Braves made 17 of their 24. That might come back and bite Xiaobai.
Pauian is perhaps, unfortunately, one of the lowest percentage free throw shooting point guards over the regular season, only 55%. His shooting form has gone through such a roller coaster ride because he was 36% from 3.
Now the Braves certainly keeping things interesting, as I mentioned earlier. When they closed the gap, they still had 3 minutes of gameplay. Now 13.7 seconds remain. And the Braves, they still got to chip away. They're behind 2 possessions. But it's still possible.
Again, crucial. I think the Pilots, they basically need to get the ball to whoever closest to Goodwin. Though with 14-ish seconds, if they make the shot with 10 seconds left, there's still options left. 8-second violation or a held ball for 5 as Trevion Graham is in, perhaps for some defense, but I don't know if you want to leave him out there for the upcoming free throws.
Coming out, popping out is Archie Goodwin for 3, trying to cash it in. But nothing. Jia Kong with the possession. He finds Ambi Dian. Reaching in, Archie Goodwin with his final foul.
Seems like the Braves had a trap going and could rely on the referees to possibly get an 8-second violation. It would have been very close.
Well, that does it for Archie Goodwin tonight. He had quite a performance trying to save game 4 for the Braves. Unfortunately, graduating from this game, he concludes tonight with 29 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Laitingan will return back to the court.
Once again, in the decisive 4th quarter is Goodwin, a double-digit scorer. He's done that so many times over the course of this season. See, the Pilots point guard just needed their center to show them how to shoot free throws.
We see Brown from a distance. Still a low-scoring performance again tonight. Now, luckily for him, he's Jürgen Caminos rotating in and out of his players. I think that's been quite crucial for tonight's win.
That's right, Alec Brown at 35 minutes played is still #1 on the team, but over the course of the first 3 games, he averaged nearly 43 minutes. So like you said, some rest might be helping him on the defensive end. Artino and Amdi, double-digit scorers.
Yeah, we have 5 Pilots players with double-digit scores. Amdi Dien, Graham tonight with 10 points. Lu Junxiang 15, Artino 10. Thanks to those 2 threes made tonight. And Li Jiakang with 10 points. A lot more options, a lot more shooters from the Pilots tonight.
I will still say that it seems like they're, despite showing 32% from 3, you got to be a little bit concerned with their shooting, because Artino made 2 of his, but Brown still cold from the outside. Justin, not only the shooting, he feels like on offense out of rhythm with his decision-making and the way that he's unable to break through against the Braves.
And look, this is not a short series and not an easy one at that, with such quick turnaround. So at what point will we see improvement from the Pilots? Out of bounds, and still Braves.
It's funny because Amdi got switched on to Lai Tingun, and the Braves almost threw it away because it was a taller, longer player on the shortest player.
And there you have it. While the Braves, they try to get a huge advantage before they head back to Taoyuan Arena. Well, the Taoyuan Pauian Pilots, they responded quick from Game 3, and they take on Game 4. As we take a look at the final score, the Braves, as you see, try to make a comeback in the 4th quarter, 27-17. But it was too little, too late for the home team tonight.
Over the course of the Plus League playoff history, only one team has been able to turn around a 2-1 deficit and win the title. That was last year's Pilots, as the 2 teams alternated wins through the first 5 games with a home court advantage seeming very tough. Well, just like in the last round, the Braves only able to get 1 win and 1 loss, as we're about to hear from Aaron Yang and the pilot of Captain Justin Lu Junxiang.
今天的进攻感觉起来好像在第1节就已经找到节奏了，比前几场好很多。那你们做了哪些改变？
其实就是针对富邦对我们的一些辩证，然后还有我们自己手感跟每个人做了更稳定的个人的改变啦。对，那其实手感这个东西，就是我觉得今天这场球看起来大家的手感有慢慢回温，那希望我们可以稳定这个手感呢。
那讲到其实有一个就是你跟右维之间的那个接触，然后你的情绪也比较起伏一点点，自己觉得现在的心情情绪呢？
其实当下就觉得那个判定是我跟对方其实有2球是一模一样的事情，为什么对方可以我不行？对，那其实情绪虽然有点起伏，但其实教练跟队友们都已经有帮我 安抚我的情绪啊，对，那我也知道这场比赛是很重要的，所以我就是不能用情绪来影响到自己，然后影响到整个团队。
最后讲一下，你们今天真的防守也很给力哦，然后就想办法拿下了这场比赛胜利，把对方的分数压得比较低。防守上面的策略是些什么？
其实就是很简单，我们就是很不放弃，然后每个人都各司其职，然后大家都是用所有的力量，然后跟拼劲，然后去面对这场比赛。
好，最后下一场比赛 Game 5要回到自家的主场了，那自己的心态准备的怎么样？
我觉得现在就是2比2嘛，就是0-0开始了，对，已经没有什么好说什么了，就是重新开始，我们再来2胜了。
恭喜你们赢球，谢谢。好，我们请俊翔在前面签名。
来，先看官方。来看手机。好，下一位，谢谢。来看这里哦。看手机。好，谢谢，谢谢你们。来 ，Angels 往中间靠近。来，往中间。来 ，B Uni 一起加入，谢哥、比尔、Brian， 准备。好，来，我们一起加入。再次感谢所有现场的伙伴们，今天一起来到现场支持台北富邦勇士。下一站要到礼拜日，也邀请大家一起陪着勇士们到客场一起来进行下一场比赛。那也帮我看一下大荧幕，在本周我们在松山文创园区1号仓库也有特别的活动，邀请大家可以一起，如果你还没有看展的朋友，或者是想要再去第二次的，不要错过，本周还有特别的活动哦。
As we are wrapping up here at Heping Gymnasium, well, we recap game 4. Well, Lu Junxiang mentioned they found the rhythm early in this game, making personal adjustments as we take a look at the final stats line here at game 4, 84-77 with the final score, as the Braves were held down to their lowest scoring game of the playoffs.
It once again proves that the Braves are an outside shooting team and the Pilots are a much more inside orientated team. I think the Braves have to be absolutely beside themselves with only 11 assists as a squad. A lot of one-on-one to the credit of Archie Goodwin, made it exciting down the stretch.
Yeah, now this game is still proving to be a hard-fought series. Now it is a tied series 2-2, and as Lu Junxiang says, well, it's turning over to a new blank page. It is now 0-0 with a tied record. With personal adjustments, they followed through with their assignments and rotations to hold down the Braves as we see the Plus League draft has been announced. The date has officially been announced to June 30th, 7 o'clock. So we'll have that to look forward to after the finals.
Well, credit to the Braves not giving up. As we mentioned, the Pilots building up as much as a 21-point lead, but the Pilots, it seemed to me, went into some prevent offense in the fourth quarter way too early, getting their offense going a little bit late, settling for bad shots, and the Braves knew how to jump on it and take advantage. But if you ask me, to me, the player of the game, perhaps the bigger piece of the pie goes to Ambi, and the smaller piece goes to Lingza for his efforts in the first half. Ambi ends up with 14 points and 11 rebounds.
Well, now we'll have a best-of-3 series to look forward to, and we'll be starting things back up. Again, a quick turnaround on Sunday afternoon at Taoyuan Arena. We thank you so much for tuning in to another Plus League Finals. Ryan Chen and Taylor Chen signing off. Take care, folks.
We'll be right back.